Everyone in the small American town believed the old Wilson house was dead. No lights, no visitors, no sound. But I moved in because the rent was cheap, and I had nowhere else to go. The first night was quiet. The second night was colder. By the third night, I started hearing something. At exactly 3:07 a.m., I heard breathing. Not from the room, not from outside, from the walls. Soft, slow, wet breathing. I told myself it was just pipes. Old houses make noise, until I pressed my ear against the wall, and the breathing stopped. Then I heard a whisper. Don't listen too closely. I jumped back, heart racing. The whisper started happening every night. Always the same time, always the same wall. One night, I put my phone to the wall and started recording. The next morning I played the recording. There was no breathing, no whisper, only my own voice, crying and begging. Please don't breathe that close to me. I never said that, or at least, I don't remember saying that. Things got worse. The mirror in the hallway started showing someone standing behind me, but when I turned around, no one was there. Until one night I stopped turning around. I let the reflection get closer, 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 until the reflection smiled, and I didn't. That's when I felt the breath on my neck, cold, wet, slow, and a voice behind me said, "You finally stopped running. Now I don't live in the Wilson house anymore. The house lives inside me. Sometimes, when you turn off the lights tonight, you might hear breathing in your walls too. And if you do, don't press your ear too close, because it might already be listening. And when the room becomes so quiet that your own breathing sounds too loud, you should not try to fight the silence, because silence is never empty. It is filled with slow, careful things that do not want to be seen. And even though I walked out of the Wilson house and closed the door behind me, it did not stay there. It followed me quietly into my days and nights, into every shadowed corner of every place I tried to call home. I thought new streets and new faces would make me forget, but they did not, because fear does not live in buildings. It lives in memory, and memory is something you cannot pack into a box and throw away. For a long time, I tried to live like nothing had happened. I sat in bright rooms. I kept the lights on. I filled the silence with noise. But the nights were different. The nights were always different. At night, the air would change. It would grow heavier, thicker, as if the darkness itself had weight and could slowly press down on my chest. And sometimes, when I lay down to sleep, I felt the bed gently dip, like a slow hand pressing into the mattress beside me. But when I turned my head, there was never someone there. Only the deep, cold space that should have been empty, and yet did not feel empty at all. The dreams were worse than the waking. In my dreams, I always walked back through the same narrow hallway. The walls looked like they were breathing. The floor felt soft, like it could give way at any moment. The doors opened into rooms that stretched farther than they should, as if the inside of the house was larger than the world outside it. Every time I tried to scream, the sound disappeared before it reached the air. Silence swallowed everything, little by little. A terrible understanding began to grow in me. The Wilson house was never made from wood and nails. It was made from fear. Fear that attaches itself quietly. Fear that waits. Fear that lives in the quiet spaces between thoughts. And when fear finds a place to rest, it does not let go easily. Now, even in normal rooms with normal walls, I still feel it. I feel the walls move just a little closer when the lights go out. I feel the air grow colder when everything becomes too still. I feel the silence stretch so thin. that it almost feels like it might tear. And maybe tonight, when you are alone and your room becomes too quiet, you will feel it too. You might feel the strange stillness settle around you. You might feel like the darkness is not just darkness anymore. And when that moment comes, you will understand the part I could not say out loud. The Wilson house never needed to follow me from town to town. It never needed to walk behind me in the street. It only needed one small thing. It needed to be remembered. And now that you have listened to this story, now that it has found a place in your thoughts, you should pay attention to the silence around you. Because maybe, right now, something is standing very still. And maybe it has been listening.